Here is my internet use violations case study for school law. What do I know from this case study? I know that Miss Tate is not well liked. She has rigorous courses and students that are high achieving and top of their class attend. A Facebook page was created expressing their unhappiness. The school has a very good reputation and high expectations. Families that attend this school are typically wealthy, and the principal also has a good reputation and high expectations for all students and teachers. What do I need to know? I would like to know which students specifically are unhappy, if not all. What else was said on the Facebook page? Who follows this Facebook page? When was this Facebook page created? And what really did the word disappear mean? The problem here is that Miss Tate is not well liked. I believe that she is a victim of malice and cyberbullying. It's causing her a lot of distress and feeling like her life is in danger. Students who are high performing are also in her class and are struggling. So with a Facebook page, they're expressing this frustration publicly. And Miss Tate was emailed this link and found it and informed the administration. Plan of action. First, I would call in a group of students randomly. I do not want to call in William and his friends because that would then right away make them feel like they're being accused of this, even though we have no evidence that they are behind the Facebook page. So I would maybe call William, maybe one of his friends, but I would also call 3 or 4 other people that attend Miss Tate's classes that I have no idea if they know anything or not. It would just kind of be random. Secondly, I would then have the conversation with them that I feel like they are all good kids. I feel like everybody wants to be a good kid, but sometimes we do make mistakes and sometimes we make some bad choices. And that's okay because we do that as adults as well. Thirdly, I would then try to gather as much information about the Facebook group as I can. I would not give any judgment back. I just simply want to hear what information they can provide for me. Then from that conversation, I would try to figure out, is this actual malice? Is this intention to harm Miss Tate's life? If yes, then I would not be able to go on any further. I would have to involve the police because at that point, they need to do their investigation and they could probably do it a lot quicker and they have better technology. If no, then I would have a further conversation with the students. So then, if it's implied malice with no intentions of harming her and just more of an expression, then I would give all students the opportunity to take down the website, no questions asked, as well as confess whether it was a student, maybe it was a student's parent, maybe, who knows who it could have been, but just trying to give that opportunity to admit that they made a mistake and that they could act with integrity. Strategies, random group strategy. Ultimately, this is just so that students aren't feeling accused. Once you make a student feel accused, they're automatically going to start lying and trying to cover up what they did. So just opening that door of, I don't feel like any of you would try to do this ultimately, but just giving them the opportunity to be truthful with me. Having this conversation in confidence just shows them that I have respect for them, that I want to know what they know, but I'm not going to tell anybody else. And certainly not Miss Tate as well, because she might get even more upset over what was shared. The police investigation, this would be the strategy I would have to take if it was a life-threatening situation. I do not want to be the person that would be negligent if, for example, Miss Tate would be hurt in any way physically or her life taken. So the police would then need to take that over. I also wanted to give the kids an opportunity for confession. So if they knew anything or if they were behind the Facebook group, it just gives them an opportunity to show their integrity and be more responsible and just share that, you know what, I made a mistake and I'm going to learn from this. Final resolution would be ultimately that the Facebook page would be removed, and that students can share their information confidentially, whether they know more after the Facebook page is removed or if they find out who exactly created the Facebook page. Ultimately, the bullying will have to be reported, and consequences do need to be faced, but respect will be honored as well. So we would have a conversation about what those consequences would look like. If there's no police involvement, obviously we have school board policies that would be enforced with the bullying. And then also if the police did get involved, then they would have to take their legal consequences. My feelings and thoughts. First, what I was thinking through all of this is I didn't want the students to know that Miss Tate was my informant, because I felt like that would just make them lose all respect that they had for her because she was a tattletale. So I did not want to include her in any of my investigating. I also didn't want to jump to conclusions. I know Miss Tate had expressed that William was kind of the top of her radar with frustration. So, but I did not want to jump to the conclusion automatically that he was the one that made the Facebook page. My feelings about this is that she was kind of jumping to a conclusion. She automatically said that disappear meant to kill her, and so she felt like her life was in danger. I struggle with that. I feel like disappear maybe would mean, yeah, they don't want to ever see her again, but that could mean they just want to get her fired and out of our district. So we need to really ultimately take that carefully as well. The fact that we don't want her to be in danger, but also that we can't jump to the conclusion that it means to kill her. And the values I had, I also ultimately just wanted to have respect maintained. I did not want anybody to lose respect for any party along the way. Unresolved issues. The number one thing in my head was, what if nobody takes the page down? What if it's not students? What if no one confesses? Then what? So what would I do if that happens? What further steps would I have to take? And maybe if nobody does, then it would be police investigation, even if Miss Tate's life wasn't in danger, because cyberbullying was happening on a public format. And what if the police are unsuccessful and the bullying continues and nobody can figure out who's doing it? And how do we counsel Miss Tate or mentor her through this? Not only the fact that she was fearful for her life, but also how do we get her through her second year of teaching and helping her know that these students don't mean harm, but they're frustrated. And if we treat them as if they're being good, maybe they will show that respect back. So how can we work with Miss Tate and help her feel like her respect is worth it to us? So fairness, how did I show fairness through all of this? One, I didn't use assumptions as facts. Sometimes I think we get caught up in our opinions and we think this happens, but we have to only stick to the facts. I also felt like I did a good job of treating students like they are being good and not bad. So just approaching them like, I just want information. I don't think you did this, but I do know that we make mistakes and I have made them. So just kind of being real with them about my thoughts on that. And I also allowed students to share information confidentially. So I don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm going to go and share this with all the teachers, and especially not Miss Tate. So just giving them that security as well. Integrity, I try to express that truth goes a long way, and that if they are truthful with me, that I will show them respect. I will not get mad, but ultimately still consequences need to be faced. So I don't want to accuse them. I didn't want to confront them as if they were being the bullies, but we ultimately need to get to the issue and get to who was doing it. So bullying happened, obviously, so the consequences will still need to follow the actions. Ethically, just using factual evidence We can't use opinions. We can't use what we think they said or try to read into what they said, but only really what was said. I also wanted to maintain Miss Tate's privacy, so ethically, I didn't want her to feel like I was putting her under the bus, that telling the students, well, Miss Tate told me, well, Miss Tate told me this. I wanted to leave her out of it ultimately. And then keeping information that the students gave me confidential. I did not want them to feel like I was going and spreading things about them or saying things, oh, this student said this in my meeting with them. No, that's not okay. They need to know that I'm going to keep that confidential.